Welcome back to another episode of the Highlight Reel. As you can see, I have some special guests. I'm excited for this one. Been wanting to meet y'all for a little minute, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
How y'all doing, man? My name's Zay Applin. With the Paradigms of Perspective show from Atlanta, Georgia. I do a lot of different things: videography, photography, podcast, and apparel. So we can get into a little bit of that later. But
yes, sir.
I'm Colby, recent college grad, also from Georgia. Me and him kind of met in high school, started up a podcasting platform. Ever since then, I'm kind of more so on the corporate side of things. He on the entrepreneurial realm. We kind of merged each other.
Okay.
Off each other.
Like that.
This one of my day ones,
No, for
man.
sure.
Respect.
For sure.
Respect, man.
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to this because I actually got introduced to y'all by a friend of mine that lives in Houston. Her name is Jazzy.
Okay,
yeah. I need
to
to shoot with her too.
Yeah.
We plan on doing the same thing.
Yeah, so we trying to do that, but I wanted to go ahead and have y'all on the podcast because it seems like some of the stuff that y'all talk about on y'all's podcast is some stuff that I would love talking about, and it just I think looking at the dynamic between y'all, it seemed like the conversation flows so smooth, and I like being in conversations like that. So I figured I might as well go ahead and have y'all on my podcast, and then one day I'll come back, be on y'all's. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Brain busters, all that stuff.
Got the set up, man. I'm hearing your line, like, because you allowed us to be on your platform.
Yeah.
It's only right to show that love.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So I wanted to basically talk about what is the Paradigms of Perspective show? Like, what is that? Why'd y'all name it that?
Dating back to, what was it, 2020, ain't it? That's when we originally had the idea of it. So this was 3 years brewing.
Okay, here we go.
A lot of people around us kind of thought it was like, they just started something. This has been brewing. But at that time period, we wasn't in that space of being fully healed to where you can get in front of a camera and talk and be respectful about other people's opinions and whatnot. So we wanted to allow that time to happen, become more wise with going through things over the years because we just graduated college. So kind of want to get out in the real world and experience different things before we step into that. And the basic behind the Paradigms of Perspective show, it was the Paradigms of Perspectives podcast, but somebody on Spotify had the same name.
Wow.
I never had seen it. It was
Crazy.
so crazy how somebody in a different side of the country can have the exact same thought as you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so that's why I was just like, I took it upon myself, like, we're gonna pivot it to the Paradigms Perspective. So
Whatever he with, I'm with, man.
Yeah, so
I respect that.
I go back a little bit deeper. See, he gonna go 2020. I'm gonna go back a little bit deeper.
Okay.
the couch for sure. I know you're gonna go with it for sure.
boom.
That's what it really started, right?
Boom, man. We had this room in my old house called the couch room. It literally was.
It was a room called the couch room.
It's the couch room. It's
yeah,
just like,
break that down, please, bruh.
It was a big couch in a small room.
Yeah.
Nothing could fit in there but the couch
and the TV. And we were just some of the greatest conversations that never got on camera was been in that room.
That's how it be, man.
Yeah.
That's how it be.
So boom, 20. What was like from 20? I want to say like 2014 to 2017.
Yeah.
We was in that room, man, just kind of bouncing ideas off each other, thinking about different, perspectives of life and all walks of life. Of course, he come from a different background, being closer to the city, and so then kind of merging our lives and I guess our paths into the same high school, having older brothers, having different people. Older people give us their perspectives.
Exactly, yeah.
We kind of came together and we was just talking, and it was so natural. Like we would talk about
forced.
hours.
It
was
especially
like literally
the elders. Like we could chop it up with elders for a long time.
Hours we would go in there and just talk, and then sometimes it'd be days where we didn't talk at all and just enjoyed each other's company. Yeah. Like we just we didn't say a word, and so like our relationship and our friendship was built on that, and then so it was just like it really mended us as men and helped us mold each other. And he been my best friend since, man. Like,
see, I'm loving hearing all of this just because, like, as soon as you said that y'all would basically be in a room together chilling, but not saying a word, just chilling, in silence, and you just appreciated his company. Mm-hmm. How often do you hear men say that?
You don't, because it's a thing about, this whole, I got to be alpha, so I got to beat on my chest and this and that. That's what it means to be a man, but it's really just about being comfortable within your masculinity. So that just means sometimes you can be in the room with your partners. You don't gotta feel like you gotta talk. You ain't gotta feel like you gotta be the loud one in the room or the flash or the film. You know what I'm saying? the highlight of that time period in that space. You can just allow each other to both exist in the same space and just, be in your own little circle, but still sharing the same space.
Yeah. Which is okay. And I'm hearing you for sure. Cause I wanted to build upon that. Cause before we started recording, again, I just met them today. And like,
for sure.
When, as soon as y'all got in here, even though I'm just now meeting y'all, I'm already saying, wow, I see how the conversation just, they just keep going. They just keep going.
The energy.
But I wanted to talk about how I think that some of that, at least as far as y'all's relationship, probably comes from the fact that y'all know y'all can sit in silence. Like I'm truly comfortable with you because you my dog, whether we in silence or we not. But I think because I know I can sit in silence with you, let's say I'm going through something, but I don't want to talk, but I just need some company. Yeah. And I know that you as my homie, I can have you as company, and we not insecure about that or nothing like that. I think that further contributes as to why y'all can talk so much, because you know that y'all have that. I guess I'm on one.
Nah, that's why I'm smiling because like you on point.
Yeah, man. I just love seeing that because I feel like I have that relationship with one of my friends, but our relationship is very interesting, which I'm sure happens between y'all as well. He and I, we grew up differently and we think very differently on a lot of things, right? And we recently had a back and forth. We was talking about HBCUs and PWIs. We was talking about that
because he went to HBCU, I went to a PWI.
Yeah.
So really we gonna have to hit on that for sure. So I was talking to one of my friends about that, and we just had very different opinions on it, and the conversation got so heated. And he probably can say this too. It's times where you might say you don't want to swing, but in your head, and you like, bro, shut up, bro. You talking too much. You know what I mean? So we were just going back and forth, but I'm glad we were able to bring it back and say, okay, this is really what you were saying. This is really what I was saying. It didn't necessarily have to go there, but we both were just passionate about what we was talking about. So. And this is also somebody that I didn't see him cry. He's seen me cry. We've seen each other through some rough times. And I always appreciate those relationships because as men, those are very important relationships to have for us because, of course, it always seems maybe more natural to have that relationship with a woman, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm a man, you a man, you a man. So I might actually understand you better than she might even, you know what I'm saying? So having those relationships as young men, I think is a beautiful thing that y'all get to basically experience and other people get to witness because then it allows them to be more open up to that as well. So and since y'all, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but that kind of goes into like why we kind of started podcasting, because we want to have these conversations and talk about these things in our communities, in our schools, on our you know what I'm saying, sports teams, like
make it normal, great conversation.
Make that normal to where you can have someone like that and it not be like you said, a beating on your chest or like a macho man or like who's a bigger man or the alpha male type of thing. Because at the end of the day, like you said, you've seen, different sides of your friend, and you want to be able to get into that space where like it's okay to talk. Yeah. It's okay to be you around another male. It's okay to have that best friend because, of course, we go through, times where you with a woman and it's like that. But having that male best friend, he gets you because he understands you because he's been in your position. He's a male. You know what I mean?
So one of the questions that's like brewing in my mind, honestly, is do y'all feel like y'all ever get described as like hood dudes?
He might.
I do.
He might.
Cause I'm just.
I have before.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna tell you
that's
why.
really wild though, cause he might get described as the hood dude, right?
Yeah.
He went to the PWI.
Yeah.
I went to the HBCU. Totally two different. I'm gonna let him go ahead and get into it though.
So I grew up in like the College Park, East Point, Lakewood area. So that's more so considered, especially coming up around like 08, 09, that was more so like the hood area. It's of course gentrification going crazy over here in the city right now. But back then it was a lot more, going on. So my commute to high school was actually 30 minutes because I was going to Sandy Creek, which is in Tyrone, Georgia, and I was leaving from Lakewood. I was actually zoned for Carver, Atlanta, which is like 3 minutes up the street from me, but I was going to Sandy Creek.
Okay.
You don't know APS school.
Yeah, APS.
Okay.
They got a bad rap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's so funny. I'm so glad you brought this dynamic because I was living in two different worlds basically. I was living in the hood, then I was going across 30 minutes and seeing, big houses and this and that. But the thing I still couldn't understand to this day, you know what I'm about to say, is so many of them trying to act like the hood dudes. It's like, I'm coming from that environment that you're pretending to be, and I'm seeing you got this, you got that, bro. What?
Why?
Bro, I will switch with you.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? So it was an interesting dynamic to be able to observe and kind of, because I was kind of conducting observational studies subconsciously without even me knowing. As I look back, I was like, oh, I was noticing that, and I was kind of comparing it to them. Like, that's interesting, just to be able to grow up in high school and come from this type of world and step into that world. It's two different, yeah.
I just wanted to ask because again, it usually seems like when you a hood dude, there are certain stereotypes that come with it, right? Mm-hmm. So, rough around the edges, you're not really open with your emotions and things like that. Yeah. And I'm just, basically this would be a stereotype that people would think whenever they see any of us, right? Yeah. But the way that we can articulate ourselves, we could talk about our emotions, we could, you know what I'm saying? People get really thrown off by that, and that's why it's interesting when you shift them paradigms and them perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now he got it. Now he getting it.
So funny, I was at the YMCA the other day, and the lady was saying, she was like, "Yeah, I just love seeing black men like you," because she was seeing my hair. She's like, "Yeah, I know a lot of races when they see your hair, they just automatically think like this and that." Then, because she talked about how the way I articulate myself, she was like, then when you articulate yourself, I know they just be all, I was like, because she a lawyer, so she know how them type of games go, how the natural, stereotypes they put on you.
Like even in interviews, I go in and of course they see me bigger. Yeah, I got dreads. You know what I'm saying?
How tall are you, bro?
I'm about 6'2".
What? 6'2"?
A lot of people,
ain't no way. I'm 6'2".
I'm like 6'2". I think you might be the.
I'm not taller than you. Continue though, bro.
I ain't got no say in that.
I think I'm like 6'2". I think that's the last time I got measured was in like freshman year in college. So I don't really know. Yeah. But yeah, so back to what I was saying was, interviews. So I go walk in an interview. Of course, I'm bigger than everyone. I'm more noticeable. I got a football frame and stuff like that. So they automatically think, athlete, collegiate athlete and stuff like that. Or just play it like any type of athletic sport. So then they come out and they pull out my resume, or I pull out my resume, and then they go into, "Oh, you got your master's?" So it's automatically like,
"Yeah, you got your master's?"
I did. Yeah. I just recently got my master's.
One of the ones.
So it automatically changes the way they talk to me. It automatically changes the way people talk to me. Like they have that, they have that reaction, but inside. And of course, I'm going into corporate America. Yeah. So they don't look like you. The person that's interviewing me probably not gonna look like you. Probably not gonna look like me. Yeah. And so then they talk to me a little bit different. And then one person that interviewed me, which I really thank her for giving me the interview, was somebody from I ain't gonna say the name, but a major corporation that y'all go and eat food at. Yeah. She that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So it's one of them. It's one of the ones. Mm-hmm. So I go in and she says, "Wow, you have a really nice way of boasting about yourself, but not boasting about yourself."
Mm-hmm. Like, subtle, but you gonna
it's
feel
really subtle because she's like, you're listening to your accomplishments, and I'm listening to you list those things, and then I'm changing my I'm my bad. I really judge the book by its cover, but now when I hear you talk about these things, and then you know about technology, and you know about different types of ways to, centralize data and stuff like that, like, wait a minute.
I gotta ask, what's your master's in?
My master's in instructional design. I really got a dual master's, so I got an instructional design master's and a educational technology master's. I got my bachelor's in information systems and science. So I've been in school for a very long time.
One of them ones.
Hey, listen, I don't like to like people say. I don't really like to boast about it, but it's something I really hold near and dear, because as a young person, I hated school, didn't like school, never wanted to be at school. Used to ask my parents every year when school started, like, why do we have to go to school again? So just being able to finish and go to one of the further steps of education.
That is beautiful, man. Golly.
But it's also good that I see other men like me sitting around. Like,
exactly. So, all right. So y'all grew up in similar areas, correct? Because I'm thinking,
Okay.
so when I'm
we went
asking
to high
that,
school in the same area.
okay,
Yeah.
because I'm basically thinking of Atlanta and I'm thinking of Georgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
I understand it.
So yeah, all right.
Southern region, yes.
So you went to an HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
What was one of the biggest reasons why you went to a HBCU?
That's a good question.
Like the one thing that you said, I need to go. Yep.
So of course I play football. So
Okay.
that was, or I played football. So that was one of those things where like I wanted to go where I could play my sport. But my father went to a HBCU. My uncle went to a HBCU. My mother went to a HBCU. So I come from an HBCU
It's in the
family.
blood. Yeah.
So I come from an HBCU family. Now, growing up, I'm not going to no HBCU.
Yeah.
I'm going to University of Georgia.
100, yeah.
I'm going to, not even on the football side of things, the athletic side of things, but just because you hear about those huge PWIs where they offer, so much, and then you got the best housing, you got the best meals, you got the best, of both worlds, where you in a college bubble, but you also feel like you on your own and stuff like that. So it was different. So once I got to about my senior year, I said, you know what, I'm about to take a leap of faith. I was tired of, like he said, people in my area that I grew up with acting like they were, about this life and that they had no part of, or they only went to the hood spot in the weekend.
Go to the party, bro.
Like you only went one day and saw how it was and thought you was that.
Yeah.
But I ain't even gonna get into all that. But I just said, So I went up there for a visit. Totally different. Mind you, it's in Baltimore, Maryland. Totally different dynamic aspect of life. I actually went up there by myself. So most people, when they go on college visits, they go with their parents. A parent comes.
Oh, you was like
First
the
time
adult.
on the plane. Yep. First time on the plane. First time in a whole different state.
Yeah.
Went up there, came back, said, "Yeah, Mom, I'm going there." And it was just the way that it was, the culture, the camaraderie, the experience you get at a HBCU is like no other.
I hear that. And what school did you go to?
I went to Morgan State. So that was my first HBCU. So I graduated from there.
Okay.
Then so after around about COVID starting in 2021, I then transferred to North Carolina Central.
Okay. Wow. North Carolina Central and Morgan State.
So
okay.
Yeah,
shout out to their homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I was mad I was low-key sick at their homecoming, so I couldn't really fully enjoy it. But next time I'm up there, yeah.
Whenever y'all want to come,
for sure.
I would plan around a homecoming trip because that's when you get the full scope of people in our culture coming together, and it's no violence.
Especially Central, I ain't see no fights, none of that.
No
bro.
violence.
Love.
It's no oh, I'm this or oh, I'm that. It's just come, enjoy yourself, be around your people, have a good time, and then everybody make it home safe.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, and you said you went to a PWI.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like?
So,
well, matter of fact, I want to ask you the same question I asked him. What was the one thing that made you say, yes, I'm going there?
So just like him, I play football, so that was the main factor.
Okay.
And they also gave me a lot academic wise, scholarship academic wise as well. So that was kind of my why. But to my experience, went there fall 2017. Going in for August and camp and all that. It's in a small town. It's like 40 minutes outside of Columbia. So real small town. Yeah. But when they rock with you, they rock with you. So it's one of them shit. Like, especially me coming from Atlanta, I already had the clout of being from Atlanta off the gate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just off of that. Then just like through the years, I kind of built like real genuine connections because there's some real solid people out in South Carolina. Like behind Atlanta, 440, where I grew up, South Carolina, like that's my second home for sure. I got a lot of love out there, especially fall 2020, my last year at Newberry College. I was about to graduate, but that whole semester, I'm selling hoodies, selling shirts. I'm making the hoodies and the shirts in my dorm.
You was getting to it.
And it's just showing how much people were showing me so much love, and people telling me, oh, I seen your shirt out in Columbia at 5 points and this and that, and just hearing that buzz around South Carolina, it was big love. So I always tell people, it would have been dope for me to go to HBCU for sure, but the type of foundational base I built up for my business at Newberry College, and not just monetary wise, but support wise, it was very monumental to where I'm at today. So I always got love for Newberry College in the city of Newberry, South Carolina.
Man, I feel like as I'm hearing both of you talk, I'm starting to understand why you call your podcast the Paradigms and Perspectives Show, because y'all have similar but y'all low-key mirror, but it's very different still.
Man, exactly what you're saying.
And I feel like that's what probably shows through in your conversations, because y'all come from somewhat similar areas, go totally different ways as far as college, but y'all both went for football. You know what I mean? So it's like y'all both went to you went to PWI, you went to HBCU, but y'all both went for football. And then just different experiences that happen from there that mirror and then that are different. All like contributes into.
We both went away from home, so we got a different like perspective from.
And that was our biggest thing. We both wanted to go out of state.
Like we went out of state, so when we come back home,
that's crazy.
We only got each other when we come back, because everybody else in the state still. They still in their cliques and their groups and stuff.
Do y'all feel like those experiences are kind of things? Well, first off, do y'all ever get like excited to just come together and talk?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like these experiences are what contribute to that. You're like, bro, I did this in school, and you'll say, oh, I did this in school though. What you mean?
Bro,
that was like,
especially when we come back for the summer, because his summers were always shorter than mine, because he would have to go back to camp before I did. So like anytime we come back, like, bro, we gotta link up. Like we gotta chop it up. Sometimes Sometimes when we link up, we don't always go out. Most of the time we don't go out. We just want to link up and chill. We want to call some vibes up just to kick it with us, so they can soak up the game that we put down. But other than that, it's just like we want to chop
at a house somewhere in somebody's crib. I don't know who crib it is at this point, and then it's probably just us two in a separate little. You know what I'm saying? And not because we trying to isolate ourselves, but just because everybody trying to got so much going on. But man, we just enjoying
glad to be back. You know what I'm saying? With my dog.
I love hearing that, man. Like all of this is very heartwarming for sure, because I feel like we don't hear these perspectives a lot. So to hear it from y'all, and then we all close in age, I love hearing it. So it was funny you said call some vibes. I was like,
because you gonna vibe with them. You know, I like to set the vibe, so I call them vibes. You can't have the vibe set without the women, bro. For the guys who be going places,
come on, man.
All dudes, no women, but you gotta have the women. They the one that set the vibes, bro. You set the vibe, they kind of curate it. You feel me? So
we gonna talk about some of that stuff.
Okay, say less.
We can get into that
too. All right, so. As far as y'all's podcast, I'm gonna just say y'all show. As far as y'all show, what is it that y'all aim to do with this show?
Really, I know my personal goal, of course, is to reach everybody, but eventually to reach the youth. I want this, like what you saying, how you see like the Brotherhood. I want the youth to be able to see like, oh, I could just come to you and talk about stuff and just, you know what I'm saying, without me being called soft, and like we could just chop it up, we could just talk. We ain't always gotta like talk about what women are. We can just talk about real life and just have these conversations. And through having these conversations, you learn how to articulate yourself. You learn different words and stuff from the person you're talking about, because having these conversations, it's the art of conversation. So both of y'all are gonna be spewing out different type of vocabulary words that you can pick up. Like, oh, because it's been time when he done said a word, I'm like, I probably ain't told him, but I picked up like, oh, he just said, I like that word. I'm gonna add that to my. I'm sure he probably done.
I respect that though.
Naturally,
you learn it from your friend, from your brother.
You can learn through these conversations.
You say that though, but he the bookworm. I pick up, you know what I'm saying, most of the vocabulary around here.
Yeah.
But what I would say, my perspective is just trying to get people to get more off of the internet and the social part of things.
Bring them back to real life.
Yeah. I want you to come back to reality. Yeah. I want you to be able to enjoy these type of moments. Like, we got cameras around here, and you know, they recording us, and of course you're gonna watch it on that. But at the same time, I want you to bring these conversations and this what he said, this vibe into your home, into your family structure, into your friend group. Like,
I rock with y'all, man. I rock with y'all, man.
So just by them watching this episode, we've now entered into their realm of energy because we brought the energy from this episode into their living room by them watching it on the
TV. Portal, bro. It's a portal.
Hey, come on, hey, you know something.
I'm with it, bro. That's why I'm saying, bro, when I just from the stuff that I've seen y'all talk about and how the conversations go, I'm thinking, bro, I have to meet them and I gotta collab with them because it just makes way too much sense. It makes way too much sense, bro. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. You said call up vibes and everything, right? Yeah. I was looking at a clip. I think you were talking about sexual discipline. Mm-hmm. All right. We can go there. I feel like nah. This is. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're doing this because
right questions, bro.
Yes, you asking the right questions. You getting to the points that we've been trying to. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. Because I was watching the clip and I'm thinking, if more people practiced it, the world would be very much different. Because when you're in those lower income communities, so I work at a bank, right? Mm-hmm. And what I see a lot of single parents, let's put it like that. And I just think about that could be me. Yeah. It's been a few times where someone else had a child and that could have been me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I've just thought about how if more people practice that, it would be a very different world. Absolutely. So how do y'all feel about sexual discipline? Do y'all feel like y'all are sexually disciplined? Like I don't want this to be crazy, you know what I mean? But
100. I say for myself, I'm absolutely sexually disciplined. That's one of my foundational pillars. I'm still on I've been abstinent from sex for 2.5 years. So
congrats to you.
Really be like,
he's a crazy man.
Now I will say this, being completely transparent. On June 9th, I kind of took a break from it, but after my birthday, I went right back on my abstinent journey, just because I've kind of gotten into the studies of sexual transmutation and learning about all that, and so I'm big into that. So
I know everything you're gonna say, bro. I already know.
So just learning how I'm able to transmute that type of because sexual energy is a very strong energy.
Yeah, you can literally create a life.
It's a so if you can create life, imagine the things you can create if you harness it within, and the things you can create with that, because it's so creative to create life, because it's called life force. You can create life. So just knowing how creative sexual energy, because I'm a student of it for real. So just knowing how sexual energy and creative energy are intertwined, I was able to, you know what, I can step back from that because I need this for something. I need this to put into my gifts, to my skill set, to my craft, to my artwork, to my design, to elevate me to that level, to, get around the caliber of women I'm actually attracted to where I'm, you know what I'm saying? Women are going to be attracted to that sexually disciplined man naturally because it's pheromones that you give off. I'm going a little deep in it. But it's pheromones you give off when you're on sexual, when you sexually disciplined.
Break it down.
They got hitters, man. They got what? Don't count. They got but when you like I said, when you sexually disciplined, it's pheromones that come off naturally. So sometimes women don't even know why they're attracted to you or why they're looking at you, but it's just like the aura that's coming from you based off of you being sexually disciplined, it naturally attracts them.
I did see a study about that though. Like they took a group of women and men with the more fit immune systems and stuff like that. Men who work out a little bit more, who had healthier bodies.
It's a real thing, bro. Oh my god, women
were naturally attracted to their smell. Like they smell, they sweat, and they chose the man. They chose the man too.
It's in the sweat,
it's crazy.
Bro. It's in the sweat.
But
that's why you got the chlorophyll in the water. Bro, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
He's fully committed.
Yeah.
Everything he does. Now, I have him as a friend. Help me be partially as committed.
And that's what we're here for.
But he is my accountability partner.
Okay.
If he say, you know what I'm saying, this is what we doing, or this is what you said you wanted to do, and I'm not doing that, he here to check me. Now, I'm not nowhere near as sexually disciplined as him.
Okay.
But that's me being completely transparent. Now, I will agree with him. I agree on every aspect, and I am in the know. So now I can't say that I'm ignorant to the situation or ignorant to
right. Once you know, you can't just say you don't know.
You
You can't shake it like you can't.
I can't sit here and say that I don't know what I'm not like doing.
Yep.
So now that me knowing what I'm doing, I understand that it's a choice. So if it is a choice for me, to practice being sexually disciplined or not, I know that I could be affecting my future.
Yeah.
So,
bro.
Being that he's my friend, he will check me. Now it's not his. I ain't gonna sit here and say it's not his place, but I have allowed him to have
that space.
Yeah,
because you told him,
my life.
and obviously you were saying I want you to hold me accountable.
You feel me? So now, like I said, I'm not nearly as sexually disciplined as him.
Takes
but
time,
I have.
It's a process,
For sure. But I have started to implement those things to be sexually disciplined. I have started to, practice, the no masturbation and stuff like that. I have tried to practice, just being completely abstinent. I haven't got there yet, but one day I will. And when I do, I know I'll be the most powerful being that I could possibly be, because if you can control your flesh, then you can control
control that lower nature, boy. You tap into the high.
See,
boy.
You
this is
anything else.
See, they didn't know we was gonna go here with it today.
I don't even think I knew we was gonna go here with it, but I'm glad we're talking about this, because these are things that I've sat on for maybe like the last year. Because I will watch content creators that are talking about like no fap, and as far as just keeping that energy, just keeping that, because they were saying, bro, if after a certain time, once you keep that energy, because again, you can literally create a whole other life from it. If you keep that energy for yourself, your body is going to absorb that energy. Exactly. And now you're going to be improved in certain areas. And I want the reason why I brought it up is because I feel like better men, so the better we are as men, the better the world will be. You know what I mean? Because we making smarter decisions. We not creating, broken homes, different things like that. Because I see it all the time. And, I'm always happy to see some kids, right? You know what I mean? Kids are beautiful. They are the future. But at the same time, it always makes me think about how, so for example, my parents aren't together. And I'm very sure that in another life, they would have loved to have, whether they were with each other or with somebody else, whatever, where they were with their partner, you know what I mean? And made it not, so let me say what I'm gonna say. Let me say what I'm gonna say. Yeah. So basically, they just made sure that they made the right decision so there wouldn't be necessarily a broken home, right? And I feel like those decisions are going to lie on us. So, because again, the life force comes from us, right? So I think the better that we are and the more disciplined that we are, which is hard for men because our hormones be raging. Because there's literally,
everything is sex marketing, like
exactly,
all face everywhere.
Exactly.
It's definitely tough.
It's not as...
I just feel like if we change ourselves, we change the world.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's not as easy as, it may sound, and it's easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. But it's just those subtle moments where you'll see yourself falling back into the same cycle. You get tested, and that test is very hard to pass, especially when you have a beautiful woman in your face. I'm just gonna be real. Like when you get to the point where you are kind of successful or having some success, and the one that you really wanted come back and say, hey, and that's when it tests you. Hey.
But I do want to talk about the accountability portion that you touched on, because I think that the fact that y'all have each other as accountability partners is huge, because the fact that you even want an accountability partner and you know that he could be one for you shows to him, okay, you want to take this step. So when I hold you to it, even if it's some friction between us, just know you asked me to do this and I want you to be better. So of course I'm gonna hold you to it. Accountability is probably one of the hardest things that people have to deal with, because, all right, I made this mistake. I got to deal with it, right? People don't want that responsibility, but when you want better for yourself, it's certain things that you have to sacrifice. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm in this.
Where you was in high school, man?
Listen, I've just been learning, because I'm 24, so I've learned that for you to get the life that you want, and no matter however you want to get to it, you have to. There's a man. His name is Sean Cannell. He's a content creator. He said you have to pay the price. You can't, so you're gonna have to sacrifice something. If you want that, you have to pay the price. And when I think about that, it's like, wow, because I lived in Columbus, Ohio at one point, and I was dealing with a lot of, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you said you wanted this, right? Now you don't get it because you didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So because you didn't want to do it, you don't get that.
Right.
And this is something that you did want, but you didn't want to do that. So I've just been thinking about, okay, yeah, pay the price. If you pay the price for this, then you will get that. But you something has to give.
Everything.
Something has to give.
So universe work. You got to input output. Like
yeah,
you
so
put something in to get something out.
and that's why it's like hearing just this conversation, bro. I'm so glad that we're doing
Yeah,
it.
this one of the ones already.
This
is one of the ones.
I'm glad we're doing this because again, the whole sexual energy and sexually retaining your energy. These are things I've actually never talked about. I've never talked about, but I'm aware of them and I know.
You thought about them.
Yeah, I know about it.
Them.
So to hear us talk about it, I'm like, okay.
And so that's the key.
We on the same page. I know we the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
You asked her what our show is about. That's the key. We want to bring conversations like this. I'm gonna say it the whole podcast.
Yeah.
We want to bring these type of conversations to light and be able to. Because you said you've been thinking about it. So there's somebody out there in your shoes that has been thinking about it. And now that they see three men, young men like us, around the same age, talking about these things, whether you 16, whether you 61. Been thinking about this. Now you know it's okay to talk about it. Now you know that it's okay to implement those things in your lifestyle. And no, you're not going to be perfect. Yeah. We're talking about our examples of how it happened or what it's doing for us. But everybody has a different starting point.
Because there's ways to speak on things and teach people about things without being condescending towards them and not trying to look down on them. Just
you can be encouraging and educational at the same time.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But I do want to touch on again. So y'all are, each other's accountability partners and everything. I know that y'all homies, and I know that y'all. So, but I want to know if y'all run into issues, like maybe y'all butt heads when it comes to your show.
Not.
That sound like a slight, like not crazy, but do y'all?
As of yet, not really, especially not with the show. I mean, even in general in life, like it's been times where we kind of had like a little, but it ain't never been none like real big or nothing like no real fallout because like it's just I don't know, we just connect. So and I don't want us to be up here trying to sound like we just got the perfect connection.
Nah, yeah.
I would say this
like
it's yin and yang. Yeah. And so if he say like this is where I see it going, I trust his vision. If I say, hey,
that's
like,
love, man.
He is the creator.
Yeah.
Like he is very creative. It's like this my dog. So I'm be able to tell you, like, he just this is where I see it going. Now, I'm like, that's the balloon, right?
Yeah.
I'm the string. I gotta, hey, now look.
Yeah,
we gotta put some financials behind this. We might not, the timeline might not be what you want it to be. Like,
you see how you need both of those dynamics, like the thinker and the grounder. So it's like you know what I'm saying?
He always going
as above, so below type of concept.
Yeah, he always gonna come up with the newest and some that might not. Zay, it's not time for that. Right now. We gonna get to that point, but that's something like
keep that in the back pocket.
But then he tell me like, yeah, man, I was just telling you just in case, put it in the back pocket. Like, but he always, any new idea. That's where I've been, especially like a part of his brand. I do nothing but like, hey, like if somebody want to buy something, like I'm gonna tell y'all the site and stuff like that. I don't come up with none of the designs. I don't help him do any of the graphic design. I don't come up with none of the editing. He does everything as far as that. Now, if you want to come talk to me about like how much something costs, when we're gonna have a timeline on it.
I think that's a great mix, bro.
Yeah,
that's a great mix because basically being kind of on my own, I'll have all these ideas, but then I have to also bring myself back down and say, okay, it's gonna cost that. I got to do this. I might have to do this at this time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now obviously as humans we do that for ourselves, but I feel like those are you all strengths, and you get to bring them together to make something better. You know what I mean?
Get to play off them.
Yeah, sure. I just go ahead.
We ain't. I was just gonna say like we're not spewing off nothing that we ain't really kind of sat down and thought about. Like when I know when he brings something to me or when I bring something to him, it's well thought out. Yeah. Like he's probably internalized it, did his research and stuff like that. So when it's coming, when it gets brought to me, it's like, okay, this is my idea. Like, and like you said, like playing off each other's strength. Now you have a different role because it, like you said, you're doing it by yourself. So now you got to kind of break it down into steps. So being able to like, okay, like this is my idea, this is my creative thought. Now, how can I put this into like physical terms? Like, how can I put this into steps? For you, I would say just making SMART goals, just being able to say, okay, this is maybe what I want to do. Of course, I'm sure you want to just being able to have a conversation with you. You're one of those people. So you understand that, like, you know, you wake up every morning, have a ritual. This is what I'm going to do for the day. But being able to make those attainable SMART goals is going to be able to help you to reach things. Now, you may have a friend that can help you out. And we was kind of talking about this off camera because, you know, there's ulterior motives. And stuff like that.
Man.
They want to be, they want to help you with the, you know what I'm saying, with the podcast, and
just to get on.
Really just want some clout. We ain't gonna really get too deep into it.
So we might actually touch on that. I just wanted to make sure I did say something. So I did say I do this by myself. I think that's something that I maybe say a lot, but really I don't. You know what I mean? There's somebody that I have support, and there is actually someone else that I do bounce my ideas off of. I actually did an episode with him recently. Yeah, I did an episode with him recently, and that's an example of someone that helps me to get these things done, because I have all these ideas, but I don't necessarily know how to get there. He does, or he knows a way I can get there because he's older than me. He's had more life experience, but he's also been down these paths a little bit, so he can always give me that feedback. But how am I gonna make that growth if I don't want to? Because that's something else we talked about. Within, like how you gonna make the growth if you don't decide to? You gotta decide to, because something can happen to you, right? You can dwell on it. You can continue to be like, man, I'm sorry that happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so hurt that happened. But I want to learn from this, right? That's where your growth takes place. That's where it takes place, because you made the decision. You made the choice.
Nice.
Bro, so I do want to talk about now, like I was saying, y'all ever run into ulterior motives when it comes to other people and maybe you all's brand?
I would say I could definitely kind of felt like the energy off of some people. And I necessarily won't say maybe ulterior motives, but I can kind of tell they were kind of just coming from a place of wanting to like gain clout, because we kind of had we got a couple viral videos on TikTok, so I can kind of tell like it's coming from a place of wanting to just be in front of the camera and see how they facing.
Here's a better question: do you feel like your level of discernment is improving based on some of the obstacles that may arise? There we go.
That's hey, listen. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to answer?
You got it. Yeah, I'll follow up after you.
I think we've always kind of read people.
Yeah. That's who we read it like that.
And I ain't gonna sit here and say read you, but just by having this conversation,
picking up off your vibe,
I could pick up your, you know, the patterns. You know, I could understand that, like, you know, like what you've done in your past is who you are, and it may not be who you are right now, but
it makes up who you are right now.
And even just to go off of the handshake, like first meeting you, I could tell just off of that energy from a handshake. Like, it was there. So like, look, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna just say this: as soon as we came in the door, yo, like,
you know what I'm saying? Off of that, it's like, okay.
You greeted us like you had known us since we was 5 years old. Yeah. Just the natural energy. Then we sat down and we had a whole conversation. We all in here talking like we buddies from
like we know.
Like, you know what I mean? That type of energy. Now, it's different. A different perspective would be somebody to come up to me like I probably ain't talked to since high school. Mind you, I just said we didn't talk, like we known each other since 5th grade. Somebody I ain't talked to since high school or even before then. Yeah, man, I seen y'all on that show, bro. Y'all should put me on that show. Like, it's easy to me. That's easy to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so,
you know what I'm saying?
I can relate. It's just when I run into that, it's weird because I mean, we all trying to put ourselves on. I get that. I get that. I
understand
get that.
And I'm all for collabing.
Yeah, but when I guess it hurts when you run into that. You thinking, dang, bro.
Because I don't want. Why you put me in that position to have?
Yeah, because I feel like you run it. Now you saying that, right? Yeah. But I've had this for however long, and you could have said this when. Like it almost. I ain't gonna say it sound like shade, but sometimes when people say that, they say, "Oh yeah, I seen that because I seen that, and I just told you I seen that. Hey, can I be on?"
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
It's
bro.
called collaboration.
It's
It's
not.
not.
Yeah.
It's not us.
We are not all the way on yet.
Yeah.
So how can I put you on? I'm not all the way on yet. Now you trying to mooch off the.
Both parties need to have some value.
You gotta offer a little bit of something, and I'm not saying you gotta offer the same amount of stuff as me. Hell no, I ain't
Give
gonna
us
say that.
something to work with, though. That's
You know
it.
what I mean? Like,
Just something to work
if you
with.
finna get on here and think this, you know what I'm saying? No shade, a Say Cheese interview, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna just promote you in your Instagram or your, you know what I'm saying, brand or whatever you do. Yourself.
Yeah, because we trying to make an impact because we know who might be listening or watching. So I want to make sure I'm bringing something good to them. And then I just wanted to touch on the energy that y'all felt when y'all walked in. I think I try to greet people with the energy I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I was to walk in the room, I want you to be like, hey, what's good? I'm happy to see you. What's up, man? But also, I'm trying to make sure that y'all, this is our first time meeting. I don't want y'all to be like, bro, he's weird. What's up with him? It's like, bro, I'm excited to see y'all. I'm excited to talk with y'all, bro. Because I think that's the energy that you need to bring to people. And I'm also just very outgoing. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited. I was genuinely excited to shoot with y'all. It's like I watch what you do. So, bro, let me get some of that. Like I just want to see what's up with that, bro.
That's fact though. Like when he told me, like I went and checked you out and stuff. I checked some of the clips out on YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, like let's do it. Like, let's do it. Like let's make sure we do this. Like, and so then he told me, he like, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all could do it at this time. I'm like, I got work, but as soon as I get off, I head down. He like, we can do it at this time. I'm like, bet. Like,
because I just try to make it as easy as possible for who I'm trying to shoot with because it lets you know I want to do this. What do you need from me? I will try my best to accommodate. You know what I mean? Like, what do you need? Because again, that's the energy that if you want to do something with me, that's the energy I would want.
Well, I mean, just by the whole greeting and like you said, this whole conversation about how it's going, I could tell we're gonna do this again. Like, there's no doubt about this. It's not gonna be the first time y'all see us on the camera.
Not at
It's
all.
not gonna be first time we sit down and have a conversation, and we might exchange information like entirely. So like, even if I was to go visit, you know what I'm saying, Ohio, Cincinnati, and things of that such, like, hey,
Come
bro,
to Cincinnati, bro. Come to Cincinnati. Y'all see this, bro? Y'all see this shirt, bro?
Come on, it's been a minute since I've been up there. I do want to pull up on the Cincinnati.
Home of the Cincinnati.
Let's go pull up on Joey B. Like, let's go. Let's take a game out of something, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Because my brother got a lot of family out in Cincinnati.
Yeah, bro.
So like,
but again, I just try to. So we doing similar things. Y'all have y'all have a show. I have a show. I feel like some of the conversations that we have, if they're not gonna be the exact same, but
on the same frequency,
we have common themes, and then just us as young black men trying to get it. Trying to get it, bro. I respect the grind. I respect the grind. So of course, when I see you, I'm gonna greet you with love because it's like, bro. I respect what you're doing. You out here doing your thing. I'm out here doing my thing. I recognize you, bro. Sometimes that goes so far because sometimes y'all might feel like, bro, are we really reaching anybody? And then next thing you know, you reached me. Let's reach more. Let's do this. Because now I want to talk about what we was talking about earlier, right? When it comes to networking, sometimes some people want to reach for like the CEO of the business or whatever. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But as Issa Rae once said, you gotta, network with people on the same level as you because those will be the people that will build with you because they are where you are. So raise up together, bro. All of this touches on things that I learned at my PWI, Kent State. Basically, just to reach back as you climb, right? I feel like I talk about that all the time because I just feel like us in the black community is something that we need to do. So if I feel like I'm doing something well and I could bring y'all with me, I would love to do that because I would hope that if y'all feel like y'all are doing something well and I could contribute, let's do it because then we all gonna benefit from it, bro. It just makes too much sense.
And it's crazy. I knew about the concept, but I really kind of started really understanding the concept when I was listening to David Shan's it was the Social Proof podcast we was talking about earlier. He had like a little free webinar. He was just saying how many people they get into the space and try to reach out and get the big names on that platform. But it's like it's a building block, it's a progression to get to that point. I'm not saying you ain't gonna hit. You might luck up and get that person, but a lot of time you kind of build that foundation of having and building with the podcasters or anybody in any space on the level that you're on because like you said, they're aware of where you're at. You have more to relate to. You don't have much to relate to somebody who's making a billy, and they can put you on game, but it's not really a conversation.
Exactly. They might not even feel you the same, you because someone that's right next to you, bro, I just had to deal with that same thing yesterday. Exactly. Bro, you need me for this? Because bro, some people just come along for the ride for the simple fact that I know where you are because I'm there as well. What do you need from me? I want to help you because I will hope.
Same situation 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, and then you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can help you out. This is how I maneuver, like stuff like that. But somebody at a higher level than you, or like you go get a big name, or somebody that you got to pay to be on the podcast or pay to be on the show, is completely different because they're gonna come on there and do what they do, get 30 minutes and be gone.
Yeah,
we making genuine connections.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is organic. This is organic. Because does it feel like we just met?
No, it don't, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I really know what it's called here.
And that's why I'm saying. That's why I keep saying. I feel like when I watch y'all stuff, I'm thinking, bro, put me in there, bro. Put me in, coach. I got some stuff to say too. I feel like because of course we're gonna get some banter in, we're gonna get some laughing in, some flowers gonna be given, but I want us to learn something and be able to walk away from it energized, feeling like that there's something else new that we learn and something else that we can do to move further and progress, bro. I'm definitely glad that we shot this, bro. I'm so glad that we did this because I was like, man, I'm gonna be in Atlanta. Let me go ahead and shoot with them. Like I would be salty. I would be salty if I'm out here, right? And then I see y'all, or I'm out here and I know y'all got a podcast. I know y'all from here and I don't even try. I said, oh, nah, run that. Run that right now, bro.
I appreciate the respect of you just reaching out. Like sometimes we don't even get to that point. Right? And it was like you said, a genuine, like organic reach out. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's really like, hey, I'm gonna be out here, I'm shooting. Hey,
bro. Let's get some work in. Like, let's do it, bro.
Let's work.
And we both got content that's on the same frequency level. We both putting out positive conversation that can help people. We ain't, like I said, speaking down on people, being condescending, feeding into the TikTok algorithm or the type of algorithm that's pushing the type of content that's continuously pulling us apart. Like we trying to put that energy in them combos out that's bringing us back to here. You feel me? That oneness, that whole.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Thank y'all, bro. For real.
Bro.
This has been great.
This our first guest appearance.
This is
a legendary episode.
Yes, sir.
This our first guest appearance. This is the first time we didn't have somebody else on the show. Or not necessarily on our show, but like
questions.
Because I know. I was like, bro, they seem like they talk so easily. Okay, what did you think about this? Now I'm gonna just let y'all run with it. I'm like, what's this? And just watch. Like, okay, exactly. But yeah, man, I want each one of y'all to say one thing that you would like to help the viewer walk away with that'll help them improve. Or one thing, matter of fact, what's one thing that you want to say to give the viewer a new perspective on life or on anything that you've learned?
I would say I read a book called The Art of Communication. Highly recommend for any and everybody, no matter the age, no matter the gender, bro. It was speaking about a thing called mindful listening. And when I see a lot of these conversations that happen on the internet or even in real life, it's people who want to talk, but they don't want to listen. And even if they are listening, they're not mindfully listening, because mindfully listening consists of you sitting down and actually just being in the space of wanting to listen, not being in the space of wanting to listen and talk. Just completely put yourself in the realm of wanting to listen, to really understand where that person is coming from, understand why they had that perspective, learn why they had that perspective, what did they go through to even arrive at that particular perspective, and why they think from that certain paradigm. All that comes from being able to mindfully listen to a person without having to want to push your thought patterns or your beliefs on that person. Just allow that person to speak what they speaking.
Yes, sir. All right, Colby, go ahead.
For me, I just recently read a book, or I'm still reading a book. I'm almost done. It's the 4 Principles of Life, I think. It talks about just being. So we're dreaming. So everything that we do is a dream. Like whether you are literally asleep or living and awake. So everything is a dream. So you are light.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that you're not light.
Yeah.
Like you are energy.
Yeah.
So when you smile at me, you are nothing but a mirror of what I'm doing. When I smile back at you, I'm nothing but a mirror of what you bringing off. So however I come into you, like come into your life, I want you to mirror that back to me. I don't want you to be dim. I don't want you to come at me in a way of trying to dim my light, trying to overshadow what I have going on. Now, I do say that we are dreaming because everything is someone else's dream. So the government is someone else's dream. So it's whatever, how they thought about it. Us going to school, it's a thought process. Now, don't let those things box your creative spirit in. Don't let those things box your faith in. Don't let those things box your dreams in.
Create your own reality.
We went to school. We wanted to become, more intellectually inclined and things of that such. But at the same time, we didn't really think that we would be doing something like this with the degrees that we got.
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I did not know I was gonna have a podcast.
Come on, like you didn't think that. While sitting in, 12th grade, 11th grade, that you were going to be talking, to an audience one day and they were going to be listening and they were going to be, gaining life experience from you. Right. So dream big while you're awake. Dream even bigger while you sleep. Okay. And know that you are light. Yep. Like you are reflecting someone else's light. Yep. Have your own light. And then so that when you reflect it to someone else, they reflect it right back to you.
After that dream, you gotta put that work in.
You gotta put the work. Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta put something behind it now.
Oh yeah, faith that I
knowing that knowing that you are a vibration and energy. If you have good energy and good intentions, you can't do nothing but want to work around it. Like, you can't do nothing but want to work.
Yes, sir. Man,
what you got? What you got for the listeners today?
What do I?
Come on now.
All right. Well. Basically, don't say you want one thing and then not be willing to put the work in for it. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, that's probably one of the biggest lessons I learned. There were some things that I would say I wanted and then like put no work in for it. But this is like, for example, this, right? This is something I want to do. Yeah. So I'm not waiting. I'm just doing it. I am being. Yeah. I am that. I am a podcast. Like I do this, right? So yeah, don't say you want something and then not put the work in for it, because why'd you even say that at that point?
He just gave y'all gem.
There's you know what I mean?
Because it's not only like it's simple but effective. He telling you what you got to do to be what you want to be.
Yes, sir.
Actions got to match the words.
Got to match the words.
I can tell y'all don't want this conversation in.
I'm gonna keep adding something. I'm gonna keep adding stuff. So don't.
I was like, they gonna keep.
It'll be one in the morning. You'll be like, man, it's time to go to sleep, baby.
All right, we gonna wrap. All right. Again. Zay, Colby, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the Paradigms of Perspective show for being guests on the highlight reel. I really appreciate y'all. I'm glad we was able to do this, bro. Sure. I'm glad this one of them ones for sure.
Always, I already know it.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure's ours, though.
And I want to say thank you to the listener. Thank you to the watcher of this episode of the highlight reel. I hope that you were able to take something away from it. And with that has been your episode. We're gonna look at that camera and we're gonna say peace out.
Peace.